So I'm going to show you guys a new feature in version 2.4, our IPIO module support. So this has been asked for quite a while. Just like we support IOs on cameras, there are some cases where having an extra IO device, an IPIO device, allows you to do hardware integration to third-party systems and even control, access to doors or, lethal response systems, whatever you want. Basically anything that can be controlled via a dry contact. So getting input from dry contacts and then also sending out outputs via dry contacts. So for version 2.4 we support one IO module, which is the Axis P8221. It's been around for 5 or 6 years. It's pretty common out there, so we chose this one to begin with. So one of the things you'll notice is that there's an Axis P8221 already showing up in my system here. That's because the IO devices, just like cameras, are integrated and they're automatically discovered by the system. So it's going to show up. Now when I try and interact with it, I'm going to interact with it just like a camera. I'm going to drag it out into my view. And you can see that when I drag it out, it acts just like a camera, right? So if I bring in like another one of our cameras here, like the video wall, it's going to take up another cell just like a camera. You'll see right away that the module is disabled. The IO module does require a license just like a camera, same price as a camera. There's no limit on the number of inputs and outputs that are being used. And IO is an IO is an IO, so we'll be integrating more IO devices as we go along. So to enable it, first thing you need to do is make sure you have the proper license. So if we go into the IO module settings, there's two ways to enable. You can either click that enable button right there if you have an active license, or you can import a new license. You can see here, use license for selected IO module. So if we click on that, we can use it. Now trial licenses will also work for IO, so if you're just trying the software out, then you can still use a trial license as an IO license. And click apply. Now one thing you'll notice is that there's also a recording tab, so it looks very much like a camera, and the reason is we can record audio from the IO device as well. The Axis P8221 has 8 inputs and outputs, has some audio ports, has a serial port, which we don't support in the first release here, but you can record audio from that device. So if I wanted to set up a schedule for recording audio, then I would just go ahead and select the times that I want to record audio and press apply. So there you go, that's the Axis IO audio recording. For IO ports, you can see here I've got different IO ports. I can select each one and enable it as an input or an output, and that's the way Axis works. Open circuit to grounded circuit is the information from the Axis IO, so we just took that information directly and put it in here. And then you can name each one of your inputs and outputs. So for inputs right now we have main door sensor, window sensor, light sensor, back door sensor for examples. For outputs, we have lethal response things like the flamethrower, trigger the flamethrower, machine gun, the stroboscope. This scope ball not very useful, so I'm going to rename that to release the lions, because I think that would be a better response. For outputs you can set the pulse time in milliseconds as well. And then I just go ahead and click apply. I can also use the IO module to create events and notifications. So if I go to IO module rules, you can see that if I want to add a rule here, I say input signal on device, choose the device is the Axis 8221, OK. If I go to advanced, I can see specific inputs. So if I want to, on the light sensor, I would like to trigger an output. So if the light notices somebody moving outside, then I would like to choose the, let's say release lions. Let's release the lions. And then go ahead and press apply. OK. So I've set up an event now for the IO. In case the light sensor goes off, I'm going to release the lions. Right? So press OK and you're done. Now, I've enabled the I/O, so now I can see the actual status of the I/O, right, in the cell I was talking about earlier. So if I go to the I/O, I can see the status of the different sensors. So the window sensor right now is active, the main door sensor is not, and the light sensor is not, and the back door sensor is not. For the outputs, I get little buttons, and I can use these buttons to manually trigger those outputs. So if I wanted to, launch the flamethrower, there you go, launch the flamethrower, or shoot the machine gun, right? Maybe if there's a party going on, I launch the strobe, or my favorite is just release the lions and go after everybody. So that's how the Axis I/O works. It's really simple. It's automatically discovered. It's a really clean way of doing it, and it's also interactive.